So, Devstream 139 just ended. Review, revise and refresh, that was the title, going over the first mainline update that you can expect for Warframe in 2020. Now, this was a stream that went over a lot, and I mean a lot of big changes coming to Warframe's core gameplay, nerfs and of course balances as well. There is a lot about to change in the world of Warframe, core changes and some pretty big ones as well. Fix the game before releasing new content is a saying that's kind of been used a lot within the community over the last few years, whether it's damage, rewards, scaling, enemy AI being one shot from across the room and a lot more. That seems to be direction that Digital Extremes want to work on right now, fix the core gameplay loop along with the events and so on that are already planned to be released, like the Scarlet Spear event, which is sentient based and it's out in early March with squad link and more. Apparently the most lore heavy update that we have had in ages. And the other event, the corpus themed one, the Deadlock Protocol, complete with the new Warframe Protea and other corpus origins lore, as well as maybe some kind of new jackal type of boss or enemy, which Steve started to speak about and then got cut off. He wasn't allowed to finish what he was talking about because they didn't want him to spoil it. So anyway, expect this big mainline update first up before either of those events. To begin with, the grind is too high for some players to own their own Railjack, and Digital Extremes want to fix that, so they're going to reduce the cost of building your first Railjack. But as compensation for those of us who have already built a Railjack, what they are doing is they're going to refund a chunk of those resources that we spent building that Railjack back to us, as well as gifting us some rush repair drones. So if you've built one, then you can expect a refund of some stuff. There are over 45 fixes coming with Scarlet Spear to fix a lot of those Railjack issues. Now next up is armor, shield and damage scaling changes. Something that's been wanted for a long time. Loads of graphs and nerd stuff was shown off in this part of the dev stream, so soak it all in, boys. Enemy scaling will no longer happen in a serious upward path anymore. They will get to a certain point and start to begin to taper off. Enemies will get to a certain level and then start to kind of slowly level off, not go right upwards into the crazy level values. Or as they showed it on the graph, it will level off in a kind of S shape. So armor, health and shield will not scale as quickly as it did before, but someone did mention slightly higher health values maybe to compensate for those reduction in armor, and the damage of enemies should be similar to what it is right now in game, but they are giving us our very own 10 health, shield and armor category, whereas before what we had was kind of shared with enemies. So they are finally addressing enemy scaling. It's taken them just a few years, but it's finally being done and being looked at. And of course, expect them to tweak things once this mainline update actually goes live to rectify any issues, I guess, that the community has with this. Now, player shields will now reduce 25% of incoming damage with this new 10 category. Player shields now recharge with a custom player kind of logic. Shield recharge is based on the depleted or partially depleted shield amount. Partially depleted shields have a 1 second recharge delay, and if they are fully removed, if you have no shields, then it will take 4 seconds for that shield to begin recharging. Now, another big addition with this mainline update is shield gating. It's something we have asked for a very long time. Of course, Warframes like Inros give zero facts about shield unless the prime one has like 50 shield or something. Shield gating is basically when you take more damage than your current shield, then the remaining damage won't spill into your health pool. So if you have 100 shield and you take 120 damage, the extra 20 won't spill into that health. Basically, you shouldn't get one shot from across the room anymore. It shouldn't destroy your shield and health all in one shot. Now, when your shield breaks, you will have a second or so of immunity before your health starts to take damage. And also because of shield gating, slash procs from enemies won't bleed into your health. They won't ignore the shield anymore, they will tick away on your shield instead. So slash damage is changing when it comes to shield, when it comes to going up against enemies and yourself that has a shield equipped. Now, because corpus enemies also have shields, they're going to get the same love as us, I guess, players have. However, enemies with shields will have a weak point that will allow you to bypass that shield, like a headshot or not a crotch shot. So if you can hit the weak point, then you could one hit kill certain enemies. And like I said, slash damage will now start to do damage to enemy shields as well and not directly to their health, whereas toxin damage will ignore the shield and tick away slowly at their health. Now the next one is another pretty big change, and it's one that the community has been asking for again a long time, and more so recently with the release of the Kuva Brahma. Self-damage is being removed from Warframe. You can no longer kill your Warframe with explosive weapons. No more Tenno space program. Say goodbye to the fucking orbit. But shooting too close to yourself will cause your Warframe to backflip or interrupt itself instead of, I guess, blowing itself into space. Does this mean that self-damage chroma is dead? Yes it does. Self-damage can no longer, I guess, give yourself buffs, so you can't do that anymore. This is the trade-off. A lot of players wanted self-damage removed. There was enough of an outcry for it, so it's either remove it completely or keep it for the benefit of a soul Warframe in chroma. And of course, Eidolon farming with chroma as well. So feel free to let me know what you think about chroma's changes. Now there are some other huge changes coming to Arcanes in game. Or Nerfs, I guess, if you want to call them that, because that's exactly what it is. Because of the changes that are coming to enemies' health, armor and shields, as well as the addition to shield gating, they want to change how Arcanes work and I guess balance the field a bit and remove a bit of the power creep. That's what it feels like for me more than anything, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. If you like running Arcanes, then this is going to be a little bit painful. I will leave a link to the full dev workshop post, by the way, in the description and as the pinned comment of this video, and you can scroll down through it and see all of the changes to every Arcane in the game, because they all are getting changed. Arcanes can no longer be double stacked. Say goodbye to double Arcane Grace Inros. You can only run one, but what they are doing to kind of balance that out a little bit is that instead of Arcanes being level 3, you'll be able to rank your Arcanes up to level 5 to get additional stats, which will still be less effective than running a double stack of Arcanes, but it will be better than running a single Arcane. On top of that, some Arcanes will have a cooldown to them before they can proc again. Some are apparently proccing way too many times, like Energize, like Grace, like apparently Arcane Pulse. This is the new Arcane Energize, and it has a cooldown of what? We don't know. It doesn't say. It just says cooldown. Now, it has a 60% chance to proc, and it can't be double stacked, whereas the old one had a 40% chance to proc. So it has got a bit of a buff, but it's not what you would have had if you were stacking two of these together. Of course, you'd have the double 40. Arcane Grace is the same, slight buff, no stack, and it has got a cooldown. The same goes for Arcane Pulse, which was the one Arcane they mentioned on the Devstream as a kind of one that was way too effective. So the changing of these Arcanes is apparently to level the playing field, or make us not just use one set of Arcanes, but it is definitely a nerf. Now, another kind of compensation for them doing this to Arcanes is that the Arcanes apparently will all be added to the upcoming Scarlet Spear event vendor. So if you want to get any of these Arcanes, you will be able to do the event and then buy them off the vendor in the relay. Now, base mission node rewards are also seeing some changes, with some minor rewards being removed to allow players to see slightly higher, I guess, values. Great for new players. They'll definitely see a bump in rewards. Not so much for veterans who already know the better places to go and farm for these resources. So right now in game we can get above 100% crit chance. We can get into red crit country, but with this mainline update, going above 100% status chance will also be a thing. And just like going into red crit country, we will now have a chance to get double status procs from going above that 100%. Of course, 200% status chance would be needed to guarantee a double status proc. So you could get a slash and a heat proc with one bullet, a kind of double dip, while also adding an enhanced status effect on enemies that have been hit by the same status effect twice. So if you were to cause a double impact proc on an enemy by hitting him with one bullet that dealt double impact to him, then that would cause a knockdown effect. We have no idea what other elements will do if you manage to get a double proc of them. We're going to have to wait and see when this gets added. Now, the other big talking point is that 100% status shotguns are also seeing some big changes. They're getting a nerf as well as getting a buff, or I guess a rebalance of sorts. We have no idea how this is going to play out because there is so much changing with them, and being able to get to 100% status chance right now on shotguns gives us an insane amount of status effects, which I love on my Stun Wraith, my go-to weapon, my favourite weapon, every pellet doing work. But with the new shotgun changes, we will deal double status effects because you're above 100% status chance, if you can get above that 100% status chance that is. But the old shotgun math is gone. This is a graph of what the old 100% status shotgun used to look like, of the damage or the amount of effects you would get. The red line going straight upwards once you would hit 100%, but that is going away, or it's getting nerfed. This is the new shotgun status calculation that's going to come with the mainline update. It starts at a higher value, but it kind of tapers off, or it balances out. But to kind of compensate for that as well, they have given all shotguns a buff of 3 times their current status amount, as well as buffing the status chance of base status mods like Sure Shot and a few of the others from 50% up to 90% in some cases. So shotguns are getting nerfed, but also getting rebalanced, buffed, changed to kind of fix that broken status per pellet calculation that we've used for years. Steve said in the Devstream that he thinks it's an actual buff, but I guess the community will see. They're going to test that shit to the limits, and we'll know once the mainline update hits. So the update that is coming is going to have a lot of changes to some of the core gameplay loop, like scaling, like adding the shield gating, like the changes to the status mods, like Arcane's getting reworked as well. There's a lot, I guess, of power creep reduction there, but also a lot of balances to try and not make it as severe. Again, we gotta wait and see. Honestly, I'm hoping it's not too bad, but some of it does sound pretty painful. You will be able to gain murmurs again by helping friends or clanmates to attempt to kill their lich. When they fail, you will get some murmur progress for yourself, which will hopefully help speed up that murmur grind. Excavators are getting buffed to stop them getting blown up during high level missions, so scaling will be added to those. Titania's upcoming changes, which we already know about, and Vauban's additional 100 base armor will also be with this mainline update. Clan dojos will now be able to give blueprints that allow us to craft 100 pizzas at a time, energy and I guess health as well. TennoCon apparently is being put on hold, or the sale of the tickets is on hold for now until they find out what is happening with the coronavirus, because right now a lot of conventions are just getting shut down. Loads of people are not going to them. Sentinel mods with this mainline update will be able to be shared with weapons and warframes, so you won't need multiple of the same mod maxed out to have one on your sentinel and one on your weapon, or one on your warframe and one on your sentinel. You get the idea. That's basically Devstream 139 and all of the changes coming soon with the mainline update. We've asked for scaling and balancing changes for a very long time, so here it is, along with the addition of shield gating and some other changes as well. Share your thoughts in the comment section below. There is a feedback forum for this. If you go onto the Warframe forums and you want to share feedback on what you like or what you don't like in a constructive manner, then go and do that, to make sure what you like or what you want will hopefully get looked at. Do me a huge favour, hit that like button if you enjoy the video, or don't if you didn't. Subscribe for more Warframe, and as always, thanks very much for watching.